There have been several pretty good toys of Transformers 1 Optimus Prime that have been released by Hasbro. We have the Energon one, we have the Studio Series one, the mainline Prime Changer, and we have that big electronic one that is like super cheap now. Yeah, these are all pretty good toys, but I feel like there's always been some sort of detractor with each and every one of them. This one, the robot mode is great, but this vehicle mode is atrocious. The Studio Series just does some extra stuff that doesn't really feel necessary. The Prime Changer is kind of small, not 100% accurate, and is actually one of the most difficult to transform, believe it or not. And this one is just a big gimmicky light-up toy, so it has the limitations that come with that. You can see the feet are just sticking right out. It doesn't have knee joints, stuff like that. I feel like I've been looking for the definitive Transformers 1 Optimus Prime toy, and I think Takara Tomy is the one that gave it to us. This is the nice, big, fancy, old-school leader-class Optimus Prime released by Takara. They've been doing these for the past few Transformers movies. For Age of Extinction, there was like a leader-class Evasion Mode Prime. Rise of the Beast, I did a review of the nice, big, like, Ultimate Optimus Primal. And this is the one that we got for Transformers 1. And yeah, this is definitely the king of the Transformers 1 Optimus Primes. Honestly, one thing I gotta talk about with this guy is the box, because I feel like Takara Tomy makes some really awesome toy packaging, and I definitely enjoy this box. You can see there's tons of text. It shows off tons of the features. We get to see the toy right there. We get some very awesome art from the movie. I love seeing that. And on the back here, we can see all of the gimmicks that we're going to see in this video. The Matrix of Leadership, the Transformation, the Energy Axe, the Face Switch gimmick, the Energy Cannons. We get to see it all. And yeah, this is a pretty awesome figure and a pretty awesome box too. I actually don't keep all my boxes, but I think this one's cool enough. I'm going to hold on to it. If you are looking to get this guy though, keep in mind it comes in this very boring Hasbro imported slip cover. I've actually seen this at GameStop. So if you see this at GameStop, if you see Transformers 1 with this very boring black box, know that there is an even cooler box inside. I did actually want to compare the vehicle modes, believe it or not. I typically don't do this, but I feel like this vehicle mode for this Takara Optimus is just so great. I have to just show off how much better it is than a lot of these other ones. So first, let's compare it to the Prime Changer. This is one of the most accessible Transformers 1 Optimus Primes. You can see this one kind of falls apart in the truck mode because the front is literally just like the tummy of the robot. I do appreciate how the feet and the arms kind of form the bulk behind the cab. I do think that is kind of effective. However, the arms are just still visible, and the legs don't really do much to change from being the legs. I didn't put any of the axes in these. I wasn't worried about the storage. But yeah, this one is still pretty decent. But this one just does such a great job of having everything tidy up really nice. The arms actually go inside. I feel like the legs kind of conceal and properly go down. And the cab looks very, very good on this one. I feel like its biggest competition is the Studio Series iteration. The Studio Series did have like a little add-on gun piece. I don't really remember that in the movie, so I just left it off. I do think Studio Series does a pretty good job for the most part. But it falls apart when you realize the arms and the hands are literally just sticking off, like right there. They made no effort to conceal that. Absolutely no effort whatsoever. And it does look pretty bad. I hate to say it. It does look pretty bad. Not the biggest fan of the arms literally just sticking off. And unfortunately, all the other ones still do exactly that. This is the big electronic one. You can see the arms are literally right there. Like, those are the arms. They do almost nothing to hide themselves. And this one also parts forms. This one is the only one that actually parts forms. And if you're missing this piece, congratulations. You're always going to have Orion Pax's head just sticking out all the time. Kind of annoying. I did do a review on this if you want to check out a more detailed look at him. I will compare all these guys in their bot modes, but I just needed to show off these vehicles. And then I saved the funniest comparison for last. This one is one of my favorites in robot mode, but this vehicle, oof, it is bad, dude. The arms are sticking out, the legs literally do nothing. The torso is just entirely unchanged, like the front of the cab is literally just the waist. This is A really fun robot, but oof. This truck mode, the more and more I've seen it, the less I can defend it. Especially compared to a truck mode as incredible as this one. This one also has a pretty fun gimmick where you can like pull these out and these little guns flip out. For whatever reason, this one goes a little bit further. But yeah, it's kind of cute. You can have those little guns popping out. Not super important though. For weapon storage, it seems like you can just kind of plug the axe in somewhere. You know me, I am never really too bothered by weapon storage. It's not something that is a high priority in my life. But he does come with this nice Energon axe. You can also move the smokestacks forward if you want, to kind of give more of a attack mode, I guess. I don't know. But I feel like they're supposed to be moved back. I moved all of them back, since they're kind of like the thrusters in this Cybertronian iteration of Prime. Overall, I think this truck mode is very, very successful. It does a great job of capturing the look of OP. I'm very, very happy with this one. Let's go ahead and get it transformed, I guess. Alright, I took the liberty of transforming all the others off camera because that would have taken forever. But let's go ahead and transform this Takara Tomy one, because I love this transformation and I gotta show it off. Alright, so of course, gotta flip the smokestacks. There's a lot of little stuff going on with this guy. There's a lot of little stuff. Let's start with the legs, though, because the legs are actually pretty cool. For being a kind of simple design, I really appreciate how they did this. So the legs kind of do a nice little collapse-me-do, and they're going to extend and go back. The trailer hitch right here, we can fold that in, and then these panels will close it up, and then get the feet out. And hey, pretty simple, pretty quick. There are the feet and legs all done. Moving up top here, one of the main things we have to do is undo this massive cover piece. This is going to form the backpack, and it kind of makes sure that the torso and everything is a little bit more in actual proportion. There's a lot going on here. One thing that I didn't even really realize my first time around is that there's these tiny little panels that we want to make sure, like, folded in once we move everything back into place. Because there is, like I said, a lot going on here. So I believe these panels are going to flip in. I believe that one's going to flip in. And then when this moves down, these side panels are going to kind of spread out to collapse all of that into a nice, neat little package right there. And then this, I believe, is going to rotate. All right, actually almost done. There isn't too much left. I'm going to go ahead and straighten the arms. Get those looking all nice and oriented. Move the shoulders up. Looking nice, looking nice. Of course, we got to do a head reveal. There is the head of our Optimus Prime. Go ahead and collapse the torso with all of these many, many hinges that are within. Get it all tabbed in. And then we're going to take this piece, fold it down, and this is kind of going to serve as something to flatten the backpack and get it all nice and together. So, going ahead and flipping the heels out, because I forgot to do that. Come on. Yeah. There we go, I got one. Nope. Okay, that took way too much effort. Here is our Takara Tomy iteration of Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. And if you ask me, I think he is looking absolutely fantastic. So before we compare this Prime to the other ones, let's take a look at what we have going on just here. So that head sculpt is perfect. That is definitely Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. I love the proportion of it. I love the look of it. That is definitely OP from one of the best Transformers movies of all time. He does have a face switch gimmick, which is very, very cool. Going ahead and switching the face here. It's just how you would expect these face switches to go. It's a little stiff for my big man fingers, but you're able to get it. And yeah, this is a pretty nice look for Optimus Prime in his maskless mode. Now, I did keep the electronic Orion Pax in his Orion Pax mode, so we can see how these faces look together. And I think they look pretty nice. This one's definitely better. That one, I feel like the mouth is a little too long, if that makes any sense. But yeah, definitely when it comes to no mouth plate Optimus Prime from TF1, this one takes the cake. But yeah, looking at the rest of this guy, I think his proportions are pretty nice. His shoulders are a little thick. I feel like they're a little thick, especially compared to his torso, but I still feel like he definitely gets the proportion across. He has the longer arms that we saw in Transformers 1. I think the legs look fantastic. Overall, I think the look on this is really great. He still does have a backpack, pretty much like all of the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime toys, but I think he conceals it pretty well. I think it's folded up pretty nicely, and overall, I don't think it's that cumbersome. I think this is a great iteration of TF1 Optimus. Now for accessories, he does have his Energon axe, of course. I do wish this had a little bit of paint on it. You know, some of that yellowy look that we did see in the movie, kind of like around the edges and everything. But that can just be removed from his hand. He does also have the Matrix of Leadership, like all of these do. I believe it opens 2 ways. Yeah, it opens there and there. And this is kind of a pain to get out. I say as I get it out with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Oh, I love making videos. It was very difficult the first time around, let's put it that way. But yeah, we can go ahead and have him hold this. He does have articulated fingers that I actually think work pretty well to get him holding the Matrix up over his head. Just kind of closing them in at the right spot. He doesn't have those grooves like the Studio Series one does. We can go ahead, get him holding that. Oh, now this is going to be hard. I see how it is. I love making videos. There we go. We got there. That looks good. That definitely looks good. I wish his head could, like, move up and stay up. I don't know if you've noticed, but it actually springs back. Very, very odd. Probably one of my biggest and one of my only issues with this iteration of Prime. Ooh, oh my god. What is... Let's just be done with that. Let's just be done with that. Matrix goes back in. Close, close. Cool, cool. All right. What else can he do? Oh, yeah. Those guns in the vehicle mode. They can pop out in the robot mode. It might pop the backpack off with how intense the action is. But yeah, you can have shoulder cannons that I'm pretty sure he did not have in the movie. Yeah, we can just flip those back. You can move these, and you can flip these forward, because he did use these in the movie as, like, you know, flamethrowers. So that's kind of cool. Overall, I definitely think this is the definitive iteration of Transformers 1 Optimus, at least when it comes to the transforming figures. Yeah, this one's really great. For articulation on this, I'm sure you saw his head is on, like, a panel that can help it move up, but it is also on an actual ball joint. But that actual ball joint doesn't want to actually stay up, so it's very odd. Pretty much just treat it like a swivel. That's all you're going to get out of it. The shoulders can hinge up, and they also rotate, so, you know, pretty much does what you want it to do. The elbow's pretty standard. The wrist can rotate, and he also has articulated fingers just all together. He does have a waist joint, which is very nice. He has very nice clicky hips. I love his clicky hips. Very nice and clicky. And he doesn't have like a stupid skirt thing like the Studio Series one does, so it's not going to get in your way. Thigh swivel, very nice knee bend, and his ankles can tilt and move up and down just a little bit. So articulation on this one's really great. The sculpt's really great. The proportions are really great. It's just really great. Bringing in the other Transformers 1 Optimus Primes for comparison, starting off with the first one I ever got, the big electronic talking one. Yeah, this one I still have a soft spot for, but it's proportionally kind of awkward. The arms are very tiny, and its legs are very long. You can shorten the legs if you want, if you do want them to stay in like the Orion mode. He is just going to be doing all that. You can shorten the legs if you want, and honestly, I think he looks better with the shortened legs. But yeah, he's a very broad-chested bot. He does, of course, have a very big backpack because he has this parts-formed shield thing, which is very annoying and falls off super easily. Overall, I definitely prefer this Takara Tomy one, especially since this one was like $50, and this one is actually kind of expensive. It's like $70. So keep that in mind. This is an old school leader at what would pretty much be their price nowadays. I think this definitely takes the cake between these two. Now, this is kind of surprising because I still love this version of Optimus. It's very simplistic, very hollow, you know, it's a cheaper figure. But I feel like proportionally and everything, it looks gorgeous. I do enjoy this Takara Tomy's head sculpt, but I actually think this one has my favorite Transformers 1 Optimus head sculpt. It just looks so, so good. I think this one is probably still my second favorite, but the fact that the transformation is very simplistic and it leaves you with an absolutely terrible looking truck I think I have no choice but to go with the Takara Tomy one, even though this is half the price of this. So do keep that in mind. If you just want a very nice, large Optimus to just stand on your shelf, you're not too worried about the alt mode, I think this one is still a very good option, and I believe it's getting clearanced, especially at Walmart. I know Walmart's clearing everything out, dude. Alright, moving on to the mainline Prime Changer. This one's still pretty cool. I really do enjoy its robot mode. It's nice and slick. Actually has the smallest backpack out of all of them that have the backpack. Yeah, this one looks very nice. This one actually has my favorite Energon axe, even though it is on the wrong hand, unfortunately. I love how it's painted. And I love how you can actually see the hand sculpted in, so it looks like it's emitting from the palm. That is definitely my favorite axe out of all of these. But ultimately, again, the Takara one is just proportionally really great, size-wise really great. Still got to give it to this one. This one is probably, I don't know, probably my fourth favorite, because I think my third favorite still has to go to the Studio Series Deluxe. This one is not perfect. It has this really weird diaper that just really looks awkward when you try to move it. He does have quite the backpack. He definitely is a little beefier than I think he should be, and I'm not the biggest fan of this beige color they went with. It looks like he's already yellowing. But it's still not bad. It's still not a bad figure. I just think that this one, its brighter colors, everything like that, just captures Transformers 1 far better than this does. Now, ultimately, I really wish this would have had like a metallic color scheme. You know, I wish I had metallic paints that Takara Tomy was especially known for back in like the early 2010s. But nowadays, that's a pretty big ask. Still like the Studio Series 1, but obviously, this is going to be the number one. It was by far the most expensive. So guys, there we go. There is my Transformers 1 Optimus Prime Mega comparison. Mostly just being a review of the really nice Takara Tomy Leader Class 1. I forget its technical name. It's in the title. You already know. I went to look at the box to see its name, and then it was all in Japanese, so I couldn't really figure that one out. But yeah, I really do enjoy this Optimus. It's not perfect. It definitely has some issues. I do have to say the backpack untabs way too easily. The shoulders are kind of beefy because they added that gimmick that just was not necessary. And one thing too, his arm with the Energon axe is a little droopy. It's a little droopy, so that's kind of disappointing. But ultimately, it's definitely the best version of Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. Probably still my favorite, even though I definitely have a soft spot for that one. I'm kind of a sucker for like big, cheap figures like that. So I'm a little biased in that assessment. But ultimately, what we have here are 5 pretty solid toys of Optimus Prime. All 5 of these are really cool. Of course, the least favorite one is the first one I got. I was just so hyped to see new movie product, I just had to buy it. But ultimately, you know, the movie product's been out there for nearly a year, and we've had some time to kind of see what's out there, see what options you have. And out of all of these Optimus Primes, there's some pretty solid options here. I don't feel like you would be settling if you just have the Studio Series, or the Prime Changer, or even that big Walmart one, the Energon one. I don't think you would really be settling with almost any of these. They're all pretty cool. I recommend most of these if you're an Optimus Prime nut like I am. But ultimately, this new one, this Takara one, takes the cake. Alrighty guys, there we go. Let me know what you think about these down in the comments below. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Have a great one guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.